Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. I usually like to do a bit of a walk-in with this and let you feel the woodland and the route in that I'm walking at a specific time of year. Don't really have that luxury today. I've got a weather front closing in on my heels, and yeah, if it's to be believed, within the next 2 to 3 hours the potential for really heavy rain. It's beginning to feel quite autumny. It's warm, and I could actually be doing this in a t-shirt, which I might do in a moment. But I'm heading back to the bushcraft shelter for some real-time, realistic training. And it is not just me doing it for the sake of a video. I'm actually doing this as part of my training and getting ready and experimenting with kit for the West Highland Way just after Christmas. So you're joining me as I attempt to do something which I haven't tried before, and I'm going to try and make work with the kit I've got and how I want it to work. So let's get back to the bushcraft shelter, aka base camp, and let's see if I can fabricate what I want to fabricate. But till then, catch you in a minute. Well, it's about 10:30 actually, and it is really dim, and the light quality is poor in this woodland. But that's this time of year, and it's only set to get worse. And if you're an outdoors person, this is normal and you work with it. Right, so before we get to the bushcraft shelter, I'll just give you a quick back brief. It's looking like the West Highland Way is a go, or we're planning it, we're all planning it, unless something drastic happens. So yeah, it's a case of actually planning and testing kit. Most of us have got it dialed in what we want to take. We're all on a bit of a weight saving and comfort mission for this one. So I'm actually here to test out making a fully enclosed tent from a DD 3x3 tarp. Now, you would have seen me do the West Highland Way and utilise the more common tarp setup that you can make with it, and you've got 3 complete sides enclosed and half the front, but you end up with an opening. I'm going to try and construct the forester's tent, which provides slightly less room, but from what I can gather from research, looking at YouTube, it will provide me with an enclosed system, but possibly reduce space. Yeah, I'm going to get this pack off my back, start sorting out some kit and get it up, because this rain ain't going to hold off long. I think something's tunnelled in the back of the shelter. Have to check that out in a minute. It's looking like something's been tunnelling. Right, let's get to the main ingredients. This is pegs, cordage, paracord, all that good stuff. And star of the show, you won't be able to see that. As you can see, I've used this quite extensively in the outdoors, so it's all becoming faded and worn out. But it is a DD 3x3 tarp system. I'm just going to scan an area. My area isn't a big priority, other than I don't want to put any holes in it. All I'm trying to do is get it up and assess that I can make it. Once I've done that, I will use it in real time in training scenarios up on Dartmoor. But yeah, let's get this out and get it up. I do have guidelines already on it, but that's set up for a different tarp system. There. Right, let's go for it. So I've just come out of the bushcraft area and I found this area here, and that looks like it'll give me the opportunity to get this tarp tent set up, but I can feel the old raindrops, so I need to make this happen now. I always seem to be rushing weather fronts. That's just the fact of life down here in Cornwall, being close to the Atlantic. Right then guys, this isn't a tutorial, this is me real-time experimenting. So let's crack on. Right, I need to find the centre line, I know that much. That's it there. Right, hit the right way, no, wrong way. The other critical thing for me is to be able to get this up quickly and in poor conditions. I'm not worried about it looking pretty at the moment, but it still has to be functional. I'm shit out of luck if I'm in -8 like last year, winds, and it starts to sleet or rain, and I'm flapping about, I don't know what I'm doing, or it's not going up properly. Right, I think I need to get some pegs in. Right. Get some pegs to hand. This is where I find out I've just thrown all my cordage and that, which I have done. That's poor skills and drills. It should all be sorted before doing something like this. Right, what's my pegs? Right, got them, get them out. As you can see, I'm doing this on the hoof and you're coming along with me. Right, let's get this one. And one in from a corner. There. Do the next one. Pulling tight-ish. I can leave that end a bit slack. I'm not looking to use the corner loop there. Get that one tight. I would hopefully be picking a better location to do this. This is proof of concept. Right, more tent pegs along this side. So this is the DD 3x3 tarp, and I'm not using the corner loop. I'm just using the 3 central line ones. I'm not pulling too taut at the minute. I will have to test and adjust. That's usually the way with a tarp setup. Right. From here, find the centre line. I do have a piece of string guy already on it, but I'm not going to use that. Cut that over like that. Or will I be able to fudge it and use the one that's already on it? Let's see. That's what we're here for. I'm actually actually going into moss rather than hard ground here. Right, now it's the back side, and I do have some collapsible poles. They were a set of 2, kindly donated to me. I've got it manufactured. You'll see a shorter one so I can use the army basher and make a tarp tent configuration. Like I said, I can actually just, you know, use a smaller one with that, because obviously the British Army tarp is a smaller dimension than the 3x3, so that allows me to get away and use it in that format with a smaller one. But here we go. Yeah, it would be with this one, I think, if I remember rightly. Yeah, that's it there, like that. But I'm going to be rocking it with this because it's almost the same size. I'm not too concerned about having things look, you know, spot on, but it's got to be functional. Like I said, it's all too late trying to put it up as light fades, bad weather in Scotland. It's got to work first time. Get this up like that. I'm going to turn it so that the loop bites in, and you can already see I've run into a problem, and that is that there wants to slide down, and I need to bring these out more. So there is definitely a problem there straight away, and the problem is I need to use that in other loop, not this one. It's this one I've got to go for. There. So, like that. And it's going to slide down. So it's just sliding down on that, so I need to build a ridge line, and that's what the tape is for. So let's go and sort that out. Right, first thing I've got to do is create a non-stop, well, a non-slip stop. So let's get this tape. I anticipated this. There. So what I've got is a bit of a ridge there, just to give whatever's sitting on top something to bite against. Right, let's crack on. I've attached another guideline. I'm leaving that one on at the minute. I don't want to take it off at the minute. If I put this on, just turn it once. Figure out how this goes in. Put that up. And get this guideline. We're getting something that resembles a tent. There. Get that pulling against it. Pulling a bit uneven because of the way I've done it. Right. Get this guide lined out. Where did I put the pegs? I wouldn't recommend carrying tent pegs in your pocket. If you ever sit down, that's an accident waiting to happen. Right, let's get this sorted. Right then guys, after all that flapping about, I'm going to try the actual original end here. Obviously I'm going to do a loop, and that should provide the ridge to stop it coming off. Like I said, I'm here and I'm just trying to make what kit I've got work and see if it will be acceptable to use it. This isn't me, you're here with me, I'm doing it raw in front of you. There's no, and I'm not doing it with trekking poles. So it's all experimentation. looking like it's going to hold. Find one of these pegs. And guess what? It is actually raining now. So I've got a rudimentary tent shape there. I'm going to have a look. As you can see, I'm risen up there on a tree stump. There's nothing flat and even here. Is this a brilliant, perfect way to do it? I'll probably have to test this up on Dartmoor when we go up there. But I've got to actually peg down the flaps to see how much I enclose myself. There is one other well, tarp setup, which is a fully enclosure that I want to do. It's kind of like a pyramid teepee, but that's for another day. But I want to test this out first, so I'm going to peg these sides in. And like I said, that rain isn't too far off, as you can see on the tarp there now. I've got raindrops there. So there is my first attempt, not using trekking poles, to construct a enclosed tarp tent kind of fabrication. I think I've got a little bit more work to do to it, but that's what I'm here for. And as you can see, the heavens have opened up, and it's not a shower, it is torrential rain. Right, as for getting in, and I've got a guideline there. There. Oh, right, that's done. Got a little hole here, but obviously the rain is running. This is a continuous sheet up here, so yeah, I think you could work something out to keep this fully enclosed. I think if you could get the bottom strap down, but you do not want to go much shorter headroom. Right, there is that saying that no plan survives the first contact with the enemy. And yeah, even though I think that you could bring it down a little bit, hear that rain. As you can see, I've got just enough room in here to work. I think the DD 3x5, or you know, 3.5 by 3.5 or 4x4 may give you a lot more room, but this is still an option. I still have room to work in here. I'll lie down and just, I'm 5'7", so there's going to be definitely enough, mathematically there's going to be enough room for me to lie, you know, down in here with room to spare. Right, let's lie down this way, feet there on the sheet, just about do it. Sideways on, feet there. Yeah, bags of room, possibly another foot to my head. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to come in this early, the rain. I did take a gamble and it hasn't worked out with me. So my plan not to get wet has failed. But there you go. Now you can see the water beading on the outside. It has a steep enough angle that you can see it running off. But it really is unpleasant out there. I am dry in here and I don't feel a lot of air movement from this end. I mean, it's only got that little bit there. So I'll tinker with this actual setup, and this will be a viable setup for me in Scotland, particularly on those really cold, frosty nights. Oh, I really am not going to enjoy packing up in this. Let's just take a peek out there. Oh, that's really horrible. Right, I've had to take refuge in the bushcraft shelter, and it is keeping me dry, but I was planning on having a cup of coffee here, so I'm going to do it just outside on the flat area out there, get it boiling while I stay in here dry. Where this has come from, I knew they said it was going to be heavy, but not to this extent. I'm not sure if I heard thunder as well. The wind is picking up, so I'm going to head out of here after I've packed up. I'm going to have a coffee first. I'm here, and the only waterproof clothing I brought was this little lightweight showerproof top, so really another schoolboy error for me, but I am actually dry at the moment. But if I go messing about out there at the moment, yeah, it wouldn't be long before I'd be too wet. Right then guys, this is a really good example of being prepared to be out in the woodlands, and by that I mean, yes, I do have a waterproof garment of some description, but my Alpenflage poncho would have been just a ticket now. The bottoms of my trousers are getting wet. I don't have waterproof bottoms, so as you can see, all this coming out testing equipment, yeah, I've got a tent out of that. I've figured out a tent, but there's a lot of room to improve on the actual way I put it up, the speed I put it up, and some of the kit I'm going to use in fabricating that tent. So I'm getting it all, figured out, rather than just tip up at Scotland on a mountain, well, on the trail somewhere in Glencoe, trying to put that configuration up, wasting time, energy, and getting wet in the process. So yeah, I just wish I brought my poncho. There is that old saying as well, if it ain't raining, it ain't training, and a lot of people will probably understand where that came from, particularly if you've been in the military. But with that saying, it also comes with great reference to anybody in the civilian world. And on top of that, you do have the option in the civilian world not to come out. So what am I doing out in this? But yeah, it's all good. I'll have my coffee. I'm going to pack everything up. I don't think it's going to stop raining. I'll have to put everything away wet. and get home and spend an hour sorting kit out and getting it ready to dry out, or laying it out to dry out. That's a bloody big tarp, 3x3, to dry out actually. It tends to drape everywhere on the floors and you dry it off in segments. Yeah. I'm not regretting coming out doing it because it had to be done. It's just that, why didn't I come out here 2 hours earlier? That's the question. And I suppose you're wondering, how dry am I in this shelter? Well, I am dry, it's not coming through. The thing is, like I said, with moss, if you've got a steep enough pitch, it will saturate out and run down over. If you've layered the moss right, it will just keep saturating so it goes to the ground. But in prolonged hour after hour after hour of torrential rain, in the end it will actually start getting so saturated you will get drips come through. You will still be out of the worst of it, but you will get drips. I would have to be in here for hours in this kind of weather before it started coming through. So I'm perfectly dry at the minute, nothing's coming through, everything is still bone dry here. As you can see, it's bone dry in there compared to the bench, which has been out in the rain. Well, it was worth coming out and getting wet for, because quite simply I've proved the concept that I can get a tent or enclosed tent tarp setup done with the kit that I have, although I want to refine it and practice a lot more. I'm trying to find my way out of here actually. So that was a big plus, and on top of that I hope it demonstrated how effective fire dragon blocks are for actually cooking outdoors or boiling up for a cup of coffee, as you've seen, in total torrential conditions when everything is soaking wet. It didn't really take a lot for me to get that going, and it stayed going even in, conditions where could quite, reasonably argue a lot of things would be smothered by the amount of water coming down. It is absolutely tipping down, and I can hear thunder as well, just rolling gently in the background. So yeah, tarp tent, that could be a way to go. And the gel, I'm very pleased with that. I did use it in Scotland when I was up there last time around, but this has proved the concept. It will work in the most horrendous of wet conditions and start easy, and that's a big plus. And the DD tarp is a fantastic piece of kit. It was beading the water off extremely well, nothing was coming through, and yeah, so I'm quite pleased with all that. But I've just stuffed the, if you can see, don't know if you can see, I've just stuffed it in the top flap. I haven't packed it away properly, quite simply because, well, I would be doing that if I was out on the trail and it was that wet. I wouldn't be stuffing it in its sack in my kit. It would be out, just on the outside of my Bergen. Don't know what that was flying past. So yeah, very successful, hour testing some kit. Although next time somebody says rain, I will be prepared for it. I would normally have my full army Gore-Tex set up, which just keeps you dry in any weather, as long as you've got some headgear, because it doesn't have a hood. This is only really shower proof. It's kind of at its limit now. If I was out all day, I'd be drenched through. So yeah, this isn't the kind of wet weather gear I would have on the trail. I have it as a supplementary because it's so lightweight. I can use it as kind of something just to put on if I'm, you know, working hard on the trail, and it's just shower proof, but it's never a standalone wet weather piece of gear. But in any case, I'm waffling now. I would just like to say thanks for coming along. Yeah, this was me testing some kit, as I've just said. So all that's left to be said is take care, stay safe, and I hope to catch you guys on the trail. Let's try and pick my way through here without tripping over.